Andrea, it sounds like there's a lot of hype, obviously, surrounding the Model X, and your review of the car is that it lives up to the hype.
Yeah, I loved it, and I kind of came at it as a woman and a mom, and so I decided to test drive the car not as a stock analyst, but as a potential customer. And I decided to test drive it because I think it'll be the safest car on the market. We haven't gotten the independent government review yet, but I think that will happen. And it's a very useful car. And then when I actually test drove the car, I actually really liked it.
Now, you don't cover the other automakers, though. So how do you model your valuations on a peer-to-peer basis for something like Tesla?
Yeah, so my Tesla valuation is based on this being one of the fastest growing companies in the world and creating a lot of value very quickly. So obviously we have a high multiple. I think they'll have about $20 worth of earnings power in the year 2020. Now, of course, the ramp on how we get there, I'm not quite sure about. But that's how I value it. And I also value it sort of as a tech company, in addition to being a car company.
A tech company. You cover a range of other companies, including gun makers, energy equipment makers. What are the commonalities that a company like Tesla, whether it's an automaker or a tech company, shares with these other range of companies?
Disruptive technology. The presence of the product on the market disrupts the market and fundamentally changes that market or changes human behavior. That's how I look at it.
Interesting, because Scarlett, one of the big issues that's been around with Tesla is that they're only going to sell about 500,000 units globally by 2020 versus GM selling 10 million units this year. So it's hard to see how the valuation can be so high. That's sort of the idea in the community.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a niche car maker through and through right now. Andrea, what are your thoughts on Tesla's ability to become a mass market automaker?
I think it's very good. So Tesla has solved the energy storage problem. So they're not really solving the problem of driving, they're solving the problem of energy storage. Electricity is a more efficient means of using power, and that's true of anything. It has nothing to do with me being a stock analyst, that's just physics. And so, but the reason why we use gasoline is because that's how we store the car our power in the gas tank. Sorry, we store our energy in the gas tank through gasoline. And so it has been really hard to have a high-powered application for automotive use through using electricity, and Tesla has solved that problem. And now they're taking that and not only applying it to the auto market, but they're applying it to the energy storage market as a means of storing solar power. And I think we're going to see other product lines come out over the future, although I'd hate to speculate on what those could be right now.
So does that mean a better way of looking at Tesla is like as a gigantic battery company versus a car company?
In a way, I mean, this is a company that's really innovative and is solving problems that primarily have to do with energy storage, which as the human species, that's a big problem that we all face, right? How do you store solar power, right? So that is how I see that company, and they are going to be completely vertically integrated on their cell production by the year 2020 through their Gigafactory, which is a joint venture with Panasonic that will open in Nevada.
So if we're to look at Tesla as this energy storage company, is it important, is it critical for Tesla's cars, or I should say for Tesla to be profitable when it comes to selling those vehicles?
Yes, and that is what this year, 2016, is all about, is Tesla needs to prove to Wall Street that they can make money on the bottom line selling their cars, not just on the gross margin line. So yes, this is sort of the year where I think they want to prove that they can do that. So that way, if they did in future years want to come back to the capital markets to raise more money, people know that they can make money selling the products that they make, if that makes sense.
Well, there's a challenge there, right? Because U.S. new vehicles are selling at a record rate right now, Alex, of what, more than 17 million plus at an annual rate. Where does Tesla go if that starts to plateau and drop off?
Right, so to your point, so does it matter if car sales have peaked for Tesla?
Well, they haven't, because Tesla's a market share play, right? So what Tesla did is they went from, let's say in 2012, selling like 10 Model S's to in 2015 selling more Model S's than the Mercedes S-Class. This is in North America, the BMW 7 Series, the BMW 5 Series, the Audi A8. So they went from like worst to first in their category. And so the long-term bet is that they can do that with other types of cars, the Model X and then the Model 3, which comes out, which debuts, you can start taking orders March 31st.